Welcome my brozilla to a new video. My name is Venom, but you call me as Marco, and in today's video I want to show you my deck profile to Necromon. Let's start in the deck profile. Let's start with the Digitama. It's Necromon from the BT20, what allows us to take a Ghost Raid back to the hand after it dies. So pretty good, pretty useful, and you won't use this much as possible, trust me. Then we have 4 copies of Necromon himself. Necromon has security attack +1 and the new keyword execute, what allows to attack at the end of a turn in the opponent or a Digimon. On play on Digivolution can destroy one Digimon. On play on deletion we can reanimate a Digimon with level 5 or lower from the trash. So this card helps us to keep on the combo. Execute gives us the chance to delete our own Digimon by attacking, because it basically dies after it. And Necromon makes everything with a lot of inherent effects pretty well. Then we have 2 copies of Reapermon. It has blocker, collision, also a floodgate effect once per turn. If an opponent digivolves, we can de-digivolve one. So basically we can stop a finishing turn, for example, and a lot more with it. And on deletion we can delete a Digimon or Tamer. So pretty good, you back up Digimon, and trust me, it's pretty good to use. The level 5 what we always want to see is Phantomon. Phantomon has also execute, gives us the chance to reanimate something with level 4 or lower, and that's pretty good. You can keep on track. For example, you can get your Ghostmon, your Bakemon back, and try to go next turn into Phantomon, into Necromon again. That's basically a whole strat in the deck. We are using a lot of on deletion effects to get our benefit. Sometimes you have some champion Digimon on a board. You can DNA into Chimeramon. Chimeramon let us put level 5 or lower in our source, and then we're having a lot bigger stack with more on deletion effect. You can play this also as a one-off, but I think 2 copies are pretty fine to play. If needed, we have 2 copies of Metal Phantomon. Metal Phantomon allows us to de-digivolve on deletion in Inherit, has blocker, and we can delete something. So nice to use. You can digivolve for 1 if you have Phantomon. So sometimes can clutch, but 2 are more than enough in my opinion. Then we have 4 copies of Bakemon from the BT20. Bakemon allows us to play on Digivolve a Tamer with Violet input in the name if we have 1 or fewer Tamers, and Inherit gain 1 memory. So it helps to get back into our turn after we end our turn to execute. 4 copies of the BT15 Bakemon, what is basically a retaliation Inherit, and also the chance to cycle a bit around and getting cards into the trash for a bit more effects if we need it. 2 copies of Soulmon. Soulmon has also the chance to give us retaliation, and of course on the deletion Inherit we can trash card and delete a level 4 or no lower if we need some removal. Pretty useful. Our best friend in the deck, Ghostmon, has Inherit gain 1 memory, and it's the typical searcher for Liberator and the trade. So you can use this a lot in your matches. Then every time something dies, you can go back to Ghostmon, look at top 3, take up to 2 cards, and build its deck again. So I love this card. Then we have 4 copies of the BT14 Ghostmon, what gain 1 memory on deletion Inherit. We love to gain memory, and we have a lot more stuff for gaining memory or reduce cost. Then we have 3 copies of Candamon. Candamon is basically the same as Soulmon, but gives himself retaliation instead of 1 Digimon on the board. And the Inherit is the same. Discard 1, destroy a level 4 or lower. One of our combo maker, Violet Inboot from the BT20, she allows us, if a Ghost Trade dies, suspend her and digivolve into something with reduced cost too. and she gives us 1 memory if the opponent has a Digimon. So the typical tamer with some benefits. Then we have 3 copies of the Analog Youth. You see it here, I will put the text on the screen. On play we can look the top 3 for a Digimon, rest goes to trash. Helps us also to get some Digimon in the trash. And if a level 5 or lower dies, we can just rest this card, hedge act, and gain 1 memory. So if we have multiple copies of it, we gain also more memory. So I think that's one of the best cards. I still play around with the ratios, but 3 are must have at least. Then valid inputs from the BT18. She gives us the opportunity to cycle around, and she's the memory tamer. 3 copies of the wisdom training to reduce the digivolution cost. 2 copies of a purple scramble to reduce and gain a Digimon if needed again. And then 2 copies of Operation Legion. A cost 8 option, what allows us to return Digimon levels from the opponent's trash and play Digimon with the same level if we return a level 6 and a level 3, because that's the limit. The limit is 9 in total. So if we do level 6 and level 3, we can get a level 6 and a level 3 back. For example, Necromon and Ghostmon. If we put back 3 level 3s, we can get 3 level 3s. So that's the limit what we have with this card. But the play cards get Rush and also Blocker. So we have the chance to build a defense or finish the opponent off. And that's Necromon. In the upcoming days, I guess I will show you some gameplay from it too. I think the deck is pretty cool and I love the mechanic of execute. So if you like the video, feel free to subscribe, and of course we see us in the next one. Your Marco.